Good morning.
Good morning. We have just driven up to Nelson Bay, which is about 45 minutes from our house.
Yes, we got up early on a Sunday morning, which I know a lot of people think is weird, but that's how we roll.
We're early morning people. It is Australia Day, which we might go into a little bit later, but we've
I don't think
just.
we use that term anymore.
Oh, sorry. Well,
It's the
anyways,
26th of January.
we'll talk a little bit about that because we do have American people and people not from Australia, so we'll explain
That's
it a
true.
little bit later. But we have come up here to go for a walk and hopefully a swim. So we've been doing 5K walks on a Sunday. Mostly Sundays we've been doing it, haven't we?
Yeah, and there's a really nice one. If you know Nelson Bay, we really like to park kind of at Fly Point, which is like the far other end of Nelson Bay. And you can walk all the way back to, I don't know, you could probably go a long way, a lot further than what we go, but we go to like Bagnall's Beach and back, and you're kind of in the bush,
Yeah.
and then like there's a few hills and things, and then you get down and like you by like beautiful beaches and by the water the whole time, so it is a very lovely walk. And I just noticed there's like a market on today as well.
I
Then
did
maybe we'll
notice
have
that.
to
That
have a
was a
look at the
mistake.
market.
Should have stayed at home.
Also, we've been a couple of times and we've done like a swim afterwards. And the water when we came last time was pristine. It was the nicest water I've swam in. And I think because we've had a really big storm about a week ago, I'm not sure what the water's going to be like because I know last week, like the beaches were closed because of.
Right.
So we'll see what the water's like. But if we get to go for a swim as well, that would be nice.
Let's go on our walk. We are back from our walk. We didn't end up going for a swim because it just all felt can't be bothered.
Also, the water was pretty brown. Like it was clear-ish, but it was pretty brown. And we're very spoiled for how beautiful it normally is.
Yeah, so we were just like, we were parked a little bit further away from the toilets and we'd have to, anyway, all the getting changed and everything seemed too hard. So we're back. We didn't go for a swim, but we did do a 5K walk. But I thought I'd talk a little bit about Australia Day. So if you're from the US or other parts of the world, Australia Day is very similar to American Independence Day. It's like the day we celebrate being Australian. But currently, there's a lot of debate around the date of Australia Day because it's currently on the 26th of January, which is the day that white Australians arrived in Australia. Yeah, British Australians.
Captain Cook
arrived in Australia. And to the Indigenous Australians, it's a very hurtful day, which I understand. I'm not going to go too much more into it than that. If you want to know more, Google it. But ultimately, it's our day. We probably should change the date, and we probably will at some point when everyone can kind of agree.
Yeah, because it's not that people are opposed to the celebrations and everything that happens. It's just, a portion of Australia don't feel like they can celebrate this day.
On this date.
Yes.
So it'll happen at some point. It's very controversial because people don't want to change it, whatever. But it's likely that it will be changed at some point.
So that everyone can celebrate how lucky we are to live in Australia.
But normally what happens on Australia Day, people have barbecues, we eat Australian food like lamingtons and Vegemite. It's generally...
Lots of flags flying.
Yeah, we just get together and
Barbecues is popular.
barbecues is
Yeah.
probably the main
Go
thing
to the
people will do.
beach. Yeah.
There was a lot of people setting up
There
to
was,
have
yeah.
barbecue breakfast, barbecue lunches, that kind of thing. We're probably going to have a bacon and egg roll. I don't know why, but that seems Australian. It's probably not, but yeah, so it's just a day where we celebrate being Australian. It's also when we have, like, we announce the Australian of the Year, and people who are
Receive
becoming new
awards.
Australian,
Yeah.
like, but getting their Australian
Yes,
citizenships.
a
That
lot
also
of
happens
people.
in
Yeah.
on Australia Day as well. There's just lots of celebrations that normally happen, but it's kind of a little bit tainted around the date at the moment.
Yeah, so hopefully if we could just change the date, then we can all celebrate and it doesn't have this icky feeling like we shouldn't be celebrating today. Feeling refreshed now, just had a little shower. We do have some jobs to do today in preparation for tomorrow, because tomorrow is Monday, but we have a public holiday for Australia Day because it falls on a Sunday.
Because we can easily move the date if we're going to lose our public holiday.
Exactly, that's right. Then
But-
we don't get. Let's just leave that topic for now. So tomorrow we have some friends coming around in the afternoon, and we're going to play some games and have dinner. So we've got a little bit to do to prepare for that. Just getting some stuff ready. I'm going to grill up a whole heap of vegetables, and we kind of thought we'd do almost like an antipasto, like cold, so that we don't have to stop playing the game, go and cook for, we kind of want it all to be ready and we can kind of just serve it up. So we're going to do some like antipasto vegetables, cold meats, and I'll make a focaccia, and hopefully that's okay. We also are having a FaceTime with our friends in Texas tomorrow, and we're going to talk a bit about our trip to Maui and the Big Island. So there's a whole spreadsheet, because they're very, very organised, much more organised than we are, luckily.
We have a Korean spreadsheet. It's just not as advanced as the Hawaii spreadsheet.
So we need to do a bit of research to make sure we're up to speed for the call tomorrow. The other thing I was going to say, we have just started watching Mr. Beast's games. Is that what
I think it's just called Beast Games.
Beast
But yeah,
Games.
anyway, it's Mr. Beast, the YouTuber.
The YouTuber Mr. Beast, the young ones would know him. We're too old for that. Anyway, he has a show that's like a game show. That's not a great way it's like a reality. I don't know how to describe it. It's on Amazon Prime, the channel, like the app, I guess, the streaming service. I'm not explaining this very well. But if you, we have been really enjoying it. All the episodes aren't even out yet. And we're like, no, we've got to wait for them to drop out. So it's if you like Survivor, if you like The Amazing Race.
If you like Squid Games.
So they're playing games, but it's also the kind of social interaction of all the contestants. So the grand prize, like the main prize, is $5 million. And there was 1,000 people at the start, and it's going down to one person who's going to win $5 million. But there's also massive, massive other prizes along the way. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it, but highly recommend if you like those type of shows. And the other thing I was going to mention, just this is what I was thinking about while I was in the shower. I thought you were going to sneeze.
No, sorry. I was just like repositioning myself.
I don't know if we've mentioned this on here before, but I've really been enjoying the Streaks app. Have we mentioned it before?
I don't think we've talked about it.
It's just called Streaks, and it's like an orange square with a white S in it. I think I did pay a small amount for it when I first got it, but the good thing was Dan and I could both use it independently of each other under that same payment, because we have the family sharing of apps with Apple. So yeah. If you have that, it's good. But you can track anything, basically, that you want to create a habit of. So these are my kind of streaks, and obviously because it's Sunday, they're nearly finished, because some of them are like weekly, some of them are daily. But you can set it up, so like I have one that's like walking 9,000 steps every day, and it's just linked up with my
Watch.
health app on my phone, which, yeah, I guess the information comes from my watch originally, but it just ticks itself off once I get there every day. And then also, like, I've got ones about reading, ones about going to the gym, whatever. You could have literally whatever. Dan has a whole heap about, there's a whole stretching regime and Duolingo. Like, you can have whatever you like on there. And it's just a really good way of kind of like doing something.
Developing it and ticking it off, because
Developing a
it feels
habit,
like
yes.
you're ticking it off.
And it will send you a reminder, like you can have notifications. So I have one at 5 o'clock, like in the afternoon, that's kind of like, hey, you've still got however many steps to go. You don't want to lose your streak. Like, so I think it's a really good app. I found it really useful. So just wanted to let everybody know.
We are currently grilling the vegetables. Erica's cutting them all up, and I've got the little barbecue kind of sidekick on the Camp Chef going. I'll show you. We've got some eggplant on. It cooked that first side so fast. I turned it down a little bit, but eggplant normally takes a fair while to cook, and that was on for like 2 minutes, and then I turned it over. We'll see what it looks like now. Yeah, it's getting there. Probably want that to be a little bit more like this one. And we've got a lot to cook.
Okay, our veggies are nearly all done. Just got the onions on, so hopefully they will be delicious for tomorrow. I was just going to show you our 25 in 25 and give you a little update on where we're at with it so far. So we decided to put it up here in the kitchen so we can see it and it's kind of a bit more in your face. And we bought some little stickers to mark things off. So you can see we've already done our games night in January. We've tried a couple of new restaurants for brunch, and we did our movie night, and we've done a couple of other things on here. So we visited a new beach. Dan cleaned out the garage last weekend. Actually, we've been on 2 coffee dates now, so I need to just put another one there. We had a picnic. We've done 1 lot of snorkeling practice, and I've read my January book. So yeah, I really like having it up like this, whereas last time we just had it in this kind of plastic sleeve and on a shelf somewhere. So I think hopefully having it here, we will be a bit more aware of it and kind of hopefully tick some more things off this year.
All the grilling is done. I ended up doing a whole bunch of vegetables, some potato for dinner, and some chicken. And the chicken, we've had dinner. The chicken was delicious, and the potato was also a really good idea. But what I thought I'd do is take you out into the backyard. That's finished, but obviously it's always ongoing. So I'll just show you how that ended up. So the back part all looks pretty similar, not that different. We did get some new lavender, some new herbs for that pot. In there, the basil hasn't fared well in the heat, but hopefully it will bounce back. We have heaps of lemons on the lemon tree, but what has really recovered is the bougainvillea. It got some love and it's really bouncing back. What we want to try and do is put it up, get it up onto the shed, but we're not really too sure of how we're going to do that. So if anyone has any ideas of how to like train a bougainvillea to go up onto the shed, we will be very happy to hear your ideas. We were looking at some wire, but I don't really want to drill anything into the shed, so we'll just kind of see how that goes. We did get some new little ground covers to kind of patch everything up. I had a bit of a go at the grass. Now, the grass just needs to recover, one, from not being watered, and to from me kind of cutting it. So some of it has gone quite patchy, but we're hoping that that will kind of come back. We haven't been super happy with the decision to go with this grass. This grass was Japanese grass. The idea was that it didn't really necessarily need to be mowed, and it hasn't been mowed. We've had it in for over 2 years, and all I've done very, very recently is whippersnip the edge to kind of tidy it up a bit. But it just probably hasn't been exactly what we wanted. Maybe we should have just gone with regular grass. Maybe we should have even gone with fake grass. We can always fix that at any point if we want to change it. But we're just going to see if we can get it back first. But overall, I'm really happy with the efforts of the garden, and I've just got to be able to get in here every few weeks and pull up the weeds. Like, I started it probably 3 weeks ago, and we've had heaps of rain and heaps of sun and heaps of hot weather, and the weeds have just a lot of the weeds have come back, which is kind of frustrating, but I just need to keep on top of it and not let it go completely crazy. Also, we need to water it. So we have not been watering it at all, but the last week or two we've kind of been watering it every day, and we really need to be doing that much more regularly. All right, that is probably it for us today. Hopefully you've enjoyed coming along on our Australia Day, our bonus day. Well, it's not really a bonus day because it's Sunday. We'll get a bonus day tomorrow. And we will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.